All lives matter. Stand for our flag or leave. Thank a veteran if you enjoy your freedom. Trump 2024.
Just as a reminder, in case you're tuning in for the first time in a year, everyone involved in this case is the same color.
White, from the shooter to the victims.
Who runs the so-called Civil Rights Division of the Justice Department, the division that does not protect your civil rights. In fact, it's trying to take them away. Last year, Clark weighed in on the Rittenhouse case and immediately, not surprisingly, zeroed in on Rittenhouse's color, like his race was some kind of crime. She described him as a, quote, armed white man, murdering innocent protesters at, quote, point-blank range. What does his race have to do with anything? Well, it doesn't have anything to do with anything. Hours after the jury's verdict, the chairman of the Democratic Congressional Campaign Committee, Sean Patrick Maloney, a congressman, released this statement, quote, "It is disgusting and disturbing that someone was able to carry a loaded assault rifle into a protest against the unjust killing of Jacob Blake, an unarmed black man." End quote. Savor that for a minute. That's from the head of the Democratic Party's congressional campaign arm. Everything about it is wrong. Not just a lie, but factually untrue. Jacob Blake was not killed. He was also not unarmed. He was carrying a knife. We know that because he said he was carrying a knife. He was allegedly trying to kidnap a child. That's why the police showed up. And when he grabbed a knife, they shot him. Again, that's not in dispute. And he's still alive. But it doesn't matter because these people, facts don't matter, clearly. Sean Patrick Maloney has no interest in what actually happened. Kamala Harris said that she was proud of Jacob Blake last year. The Democratic Party is sticking with that, too. They are trying, and they have from the very beginning, to make this case into a racial divide, to further divide the country. Kamala Harris today said that the outcome of this case, the jury's verdict, was proof that our judicial system is not, quote, equitable, whatever that means.
There's a courtroom, there's a judge, there's evidence, there's witnesses, there's cross-examination, and there's a jury. So if you want to get it down to the absolute bottom line, the judge is a judge of law. The jury is a judge of facts.
It needs to be changed. The Attorney General of the state of New York said it needs to be completely torn down and rebuilt, our justice system that we've had for 250 years. It's the best thing in our country. The idea that you are tried on the basis of the facts, not on the basis of what you look like. But they'd like to change that. ABC News, by the way, just reported the same thing. They told us, ABC News, a news corporation, has told us that, in fact, Jacob Blake was killed in Kenosha. Watch this.
Well, it's very significant. First, for the community of Kenosha, this city was traumatized by the police killing of a black man, Jacob Blake.
The police killing of a black man who is, in fact, still alive. So what are they doing when they tell lies like this? Lies that you can check very easily, or if you have a memory that extends into last year, you recall very well. Well, they're inciting people, of course. They're trying to whip people into a frenzy on the basis of claims that are totally, provably untrue. What kind of a frenzy? Well, consider this. This is from a senior advisor at the DCCC, the Democratic campaign arm. His name is Daiwan Tatro. He just issued an explicit call for riots. No justice, no peace, he wrote in the wake of the verdict. Who is Daiwan Tatro? Well, he, according to news reports, spent a decade in prison after he shot 2 people. Now he works for the Democratic Party, just in case you're interested in whose side they're on. But you knew that. Meanwhile, a spokesperson for Congressman Val Demings, another Democrat, offered this assessment. The core of the far-right movement is that they should be able to kill you if they want to. That's the official line of the Democratic Party tonight. Keep in mind, and if you watch the trial, you know this, Kyle Rittenhouse was walking down the street when he was charged by a convicted child rapist and then charged by a number of other people. He sought no conflict. There was never any evidence that he was the aggressor in any case. He was aggressed against. So Joe Biden also weighed in on this, and he gave 2 versions of his views on it. First, he said, we're going to respect the jury's verdict. And then, of course, when his advisors took over and wrote a new press statement, he told us how upset he was by the verdict. And that's what aired on MSNBC all day.
The next time there's a protest of some sort, and it may get politicized, that gun owners with a certain ideology may feel incentivized now, may feel even emboldened.
What some may take from this verdict is that vigilante justice prevailed.
Knowing the history of vigilante justice in this country all the way back to times of enslavement, when people would be deputized to go out and track down enslaved persons who ran away, to lynching mobs, and this is 2021.
It is to tell the current and future Kyle Rittenhouses of the world that they can engage in white vigilantism and be let off for it, be defended and protected for perpetuating white supremacy.
White vigilantism, white supremacy, white. That was all over media all day long. Explicit racial attacks. What does that have to do with this case? And in what kind of country is that allowed when the most powerful people in the country level explicit racial attacks against one of their countrymen? Most of us didn't grow up in a country where people talk like this. It's very ominous that they're talking like this now. Just as a reminder, in case you're tuning in for the first time in a year, everyone involved in this case is the same color. The people of the Council on American Islamic Relations offered this take, which was very common today on the left, quote, "It is difficult to imagine a black or Muslim defendant engaged in the same conduct being found not guilty." Really? Were you here for the OJ trial? It's ridiculous. MSNBC, the network that was banned from the courthouse for following jurors around, broadcast this racial screed today from a relative of Jacob Blake's.
Now you tell us why he got a free ride. His bail money was raised by the Proud Boys, the Ku Klux Klan, the Nazis, the skinheads. Are they plugged up in this courtroom? Do we know the history of this judge? I heard he's been racist as hell to these people in Kenosha for many years.
It's really, really dark. The rest of us should not allow them to get away with racializing this, allow them to get away with attacking people on the basis of their skin color. That is always wrong. We would never engage in that, never have, and no one should do that.